Yeah, after you played for more than 1 hour, you sweat. It's the music.
It's the heat.
The heat, yeah.
And the heat of the music, you're right.
And everything that generates it.
Yes, that's true.
Jerry, tell me, the current band is always the best band or not?
No, not necessarily. It just happens that this one is.
I'm very disappointed in this answer, really.
Well, no,
but
it's easy to say something like that now when I'm so happy with the band. See,
Yeah.
if I weren't happy with the band, I would never let you know.
Well, I have to say that I also liked the band, the 13 pieces that you had around the 60s.
Oh yes, that was a fun. But you see, the reason that is still an honest answer is because each band is different, and whatever weaknesses a band may have, it has its own strengths. So the individual qualities that the different players in the band bring to it are very special in each one of my groups.
The soloists in the 60 band, so to speak, were older, more experienced.
It seems that way now, but not so really. The players in this band.
Well, I mean, the Zoot Sims and the Clark Terrys, and you know.
Yes, but you know, how old were they then? They were in their 30s, and that's what these players are. Well, they range from the 20s through the 40s, but
the same question will be asked in 20 years again about this band.
Absolutely. You see, it's a funny thing, but when I was a youngster and first admired men like Jack Teagarden and Duke Ellington and Count Basie and Benny Goodman and so on, to me, they seemed very old because I was very young.
Yeah, okay.
And we have that association all our lives when we hear something. It's true of anything, but in musicians as well. When we hear people when we're very young, we always think of them as being older, which of course they are. They're older than we are.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then one day I discovered that when Benny Goodman had the great success with his band, he was in his late 20s or around 30. Artie Shaw, the same. Glenn Miller, all of those men. Duke. Krupa, sure, they were very young.
Thornhill.
And when I knew them, they seemed very old to me, but they were in their 30s and their 40s.
Yeah. How did you experience the first time when you met Gil Evans?
Well, Gil was arranging for Claude Thornhill's band, and I was arranging for Gene Krupa's band. And I used to go to hear Claude Thornhill's band every chance I got because I loved the music so. And became very good friends. We became very good friends. And Gil actually invited me to write for the band. He spoke to Claude about my writing for them, and of course Claude said that he'd like that, and that's how it came about.
That was it. What is that story about the Chinese laundryman where Gil was living at the time, or not?
Well, yes. Sometime after that, he had a one-room apartment in a building that was in the basement, and it was
in New York City.
In New York City. On West 55th Street, and it was behind a Chinese laundry.
Yeah, I've been reading about it.
It got very cold in there in the wintertime, very hot in the summer. We had a lot of great times anyway.
Who came up with the nickname Jeru?
Miles Davis.
Oh, Miles did. I thank you very much for this interview here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, even. Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thank you.